Hello, everybody. Welcome to Isamizu Global Conscious Wellness. I'm Dr. June.
I'm Dr. Isabel. And then we're here with Florencia. Welcome, Florencia.
Welcome.
Hello. Hello. Thank you for inviting me here.
Yes.
A
And
pleasure.
can you please tell the listeners your background? Just tell us everything that you do. That I found her because she has a unique class that we are passionate about, what she's going to be teaching us today. So just tell us a little bit about you, please.
Okay. I live in Argentina, South America. Here it's winter time, so it's the other hemisphere. And I teach yoga. It's been like 4 years I've been teaching yoga. I have a working past in companies, and I decided to give a twist to my professional life and dedicate to something more connected with people and with their bodies and movement and sports, and which I am also very passionate about. So during my journey, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of students of different ages and of different backgrounds here. And it happened to me that during the quarantine here in Argentina, I started to get in touch with more I started to see some common patterns in all of my students, and I started to get more interested in diving into that things I saw. I became very fond of using Excels. I had never used them so much, because I was a lot of time at home with the computer, and I started to become fan of jotting down things and organizing. And I started to want to organize the classes with my students. And I said, okay, how can I help them better discovering the same patterns that they had in their bodies and their tensions and all the things they were suffering. And I noticed that most of them had, for example, back pain, but for example, the hamstrings, all of them had stiff hamstrings, for example. And then I noticed things about their posture, that they were working a lot from home, sitting down a lot of hours, and their posture had become the same, and they were with the shoulders towards the inside, and they were having neck issues, and that also they were suffering a lot from bruxism. They were telling me that they were suffering from the TMJ pain, and the tongue was stiff, and that brought them headaches, and neck pain. So I said, okay, let's dive into that. And myself as well, during last year, became a lot of more conscious about
your jaw,
my mandible, my jaw. And I said, okay, I'm not a doctor, I'm not odontologist, I'm a yoga teacher, but I know about bodies, so how can I help them from that point of view? And I started to, yes.
That's amazing. But before we go forward, I want to tell people that don't know about Broxism what Broxism is. And it's a part function, is something that is not normal for people to do, and is when you clench your teeth, when you squeeze your teeth together, or when you grind. So there's different ways to do it, but then the most common is just clenching, squeezing the teeth together, and then going side to side. So that causes a lot of problems with your joint, which is the TMJ, the Temporomandibular Joint, so the joint of your jaw, and then the muscles and everything around it. So that's what Florencia is going to be teaching us and guiding us, and giving us some practice and really helpful exercises that will help alleviate those symptoms that the majority of people have.
When we started, that most of the people needed, had bruxism, for example, at night or during the day as well. because of stressful situations, or because they were stressed and with anxiety. So I said, okay, let's start, for example, lying on the floor, our yoga class lying on the floor. Perhaps you normally start your class by sitting down and making some and some movements, you know, by sitting on a crossed leg position. But I said, okay, let's start lying on the ground so that first we relax and we connect and we feel safe, like the ground is making us feel supported and engaged, not engaged, but grounded. So I said, okay, why don't we start over there? And for example, that was a shift of my point of view, like how to give a yoga class, for example. And also as well, I became very fond of muscle chains and how do you say, like myofascial chains?
Myofascial.
Myofascial chains. And using that point of view, the TMJ and the eyes and the feet are like very important parts on which the body bases on, like the interoception way to like make us do some posture. So we form our posture by you know, using the eyes, the TMJ, the feet, the skin as some references. So I said, okay, why don't we go on that path? So, for example, I said, okay, why don't we do some yoga exercises for stabilizing the pelvis, for example? Because when you stabilize the pelvis, you can like you can form your posture like more properly, because the you know, you activate and you engage all the muscles that make you feel more you know, like more
Balance.
like like more balanced.
Because what we have learned is that the body compensates. So if your hips are not balanced, then your body starts compensating. And then where your hip is not balanced, then your jaw is going to be having more tension. And then all muscles get contracted. So that's great.
It's like it's all linked together. If we speak about like muscular chains or myofascial chains, we see the body as if it were like Spider-Man suit, where we are all connected and we are all supported like of this connective tissue, like of this big bag. And for example, if I have some problem on my shoulder, and for example, the fascia does like a knot over here, all the body will compensate on this area, like following this force, you know, this path. So for example, if all of us or most of us have bruxism and have a different, like have our neck in position in some different way, and we have a knot over here, so the whole posture will compensate, you know. If I do like this, well, let me go a little bit far. So if I have a knot over here, perhaps my posture is affected, because when I have bruxism and if I have tension over here, I will do like this. I will start doing like this, and I will, like, how to say, like bow, you know, like go to the inside. So the way we can release all of this zone, this area, it will like affect positively in our overall posture, let's say.
Correct. And especially now that everybody is working from home in the computer, so that position is also triggering. And then when you're multitasking, actually they did a study where they had IT professionals and they put some monitors, they put some sensors in their head, and they found that it was almost 90% of them were clenching their teeth during the day while they were working, but they didn't realize that they were doing that, because this is in the subconscious level. So you're multitasking, you're processing information, you're under stress. So then the majority of people that work with computers or that have to have their attention kind of focused in different areas, they are the ones that clench the most during the day. And the majority of the patients that I've seen is that when they are clenching during the day, for sure, they're clenching at night. So what are those things that you found that there's 3 or 4 common places that people that clench their teeth had problems with? Which one? So it was the jaw, that 100%, you said 100% of them suffer from bruxism. Then which other areas were affected?
Yes, one thing I wanted to say, during all this discovery and these experiments I've been doing, I discovered myself that I do bruxism when I ride my bike and my motorcycle. I ride a motorcycle, a scooter, yes, down in Buenos Aires, and I discovered that I clenched my teeth while I was, because I don't know, the tension, the traffic, and you know, I like to go at high speed, so I need to be very attentive, and that I had difficulty in breathing, for example, that I didn't breathe during my ride, during my ride. So that's, and you said, Isabel, a very important thing about awareness, that it's another huge part that I work in my yoga for bruxism and in my yoga like method and my yoga classes, which is like, okay, we can deal with functional and mechanical things about the posture, but there's another huge part in which we need to we need to raise awareness about that, because if not, the other thing won't work totally. It's like both things combined. And that is why I keep on calling it yoga, because yoga has all that thing about movement with mindfulness, with like being aware of the movement itself and our body. So, okay, so most of us, going back to your question, have like, I found out as well that 25% of the population have flat feet, for example. So that's a lot for me. I mean, I believe that it's quite a considerable percentage. So when you have flat feet, and then we will show it, and I will teach you how to align yourselves. When you have flat feet, like it's like as the arch was sinking, okay, towards the inside, and that makes some effect on the knees that come together as well, okay. So it's called genu valgo, okay, in Spanish. So when that happens, the pelvis is like in a different position. It has like more anteversion, okay. So you end up like perhaps compressing your lumbars, and that makes a different, that goes up, the compensation goes up till the upper back. So what does end up happening? The compensation makes the shoulders come round, and if everyone needs to keep the horizontality of the gaze, you know, so as to feel balanced. That was something I was saying before, that the eyes are very important for determining our posture. So when we have the shoulders on down, and we need to keep the horizontality of the gaze, we end up like doing some strange thing with the neck, like some strange position, like a turtleneck. We say turtleneck, and that affects the position of all the muscle chains and the jaw itself. So Okay, so that is why I say that bruxism doesn't start in the mouth, or doesn't end or start in the mouth, but it goes down to the feet as well. And that is something that commonly happens. It is a very common posture when we are working. Okay, who doesn't like round the back when it's at the computer? It's like this. Okay, I have I don't know if you see me, but we all end up being like this. So you see the position of the neck, of the pelvis, of the shoulders. That is something that most of my students were suffering from. And as well, the hamstrings, stiff hamstrings, is like as if all the muscle chain, or all the part of the back, okay, going from the feet, going through the calf, the hamstrings, the glutes, and all the back, is as if we all had it like stiff and dehydrated. And that, you know, it's very difficult for making a nice posture. And for example, if you have a massage on the neck, on the occipitals and suboccipitals, that is a very quick or easy way to release all that part of the back. So that is something I also teach, how to massage, perhaps, like all those parts, if you don't have time to go to a massagist.
Therapist,
Thank you, massage therapist. You can do as well by yourself. And what I've been trying to teach and to tell is like perhaps quick and easy ways of releasing all the muscle chains from these key points that I'm talking about, and these key places that, okay, if you don't remember what to do, try to stabilize your pelvis and relax your jaw and your occipitals, and you will do, okay? So I like how to say, like shortcuts,
shortcuts and things that are easy for people to follow and to do at home. And this is something that we should, do you recommend doing this like daily?
Yes, I recommend it, like getting your jaw awareness in your routine, okay? I am like, I get up and I brush my teeth. Okay, I ask myself, how is my TMJ today? And perhaps, and what I encourage to my students is that they do that and they check and they say, oh, most of the days my jaw is like a disaster. So they start like doing all the movements, and that keeps us bringing awareness again to our daily posture and daily habits is for me the key for getting better in all of these like big problems and major problems, like anxiety, like stress, like bruxism. I mean, it's perhaps you can go to a yoga class once or twice a week, but if you're not aware of your posture and your pelvis when you work and your jaw, I mean, something's missing for me. I'm very like determined with that, but it's what I believe.
Yeah, you have to teach every single day to become, because your brain knows the patterns you are trapped in, right? So by teaching consciously, being aware, you have to refire the part of the brain that knows what's the normal, right? What's the good, healthy balance it is. This is where every single day we have to repetitively keep teaching the nervous system. That, I think that would be so key. I think you made a really good point.
Yeah, definitely. And as well as we talk a lot about breathing in yoga, no? We breathe consciously to increase our breathing capacity, and that is when we are in daily life, we breathe better. That is something that we automatically do as well, you know. But that's great about awareness is everything. And we also train what it's called interoception, which is that to know what is going on inside, basically, right? It's like,
just be aware of your body, your emotions, your feelings, how every single part of your body feels, because a lot of people, you go through the day and you don't pay attention to your own body, and the body is basically has the messages of our subconscious and the messages of the ones that we need to be aware of. So if there is something that is painful, or there is a discomfort, that's where we need to concentrate and be aware and start acting towards the healing or the balance to achieve homeostasis. So what are the benefits of yoga and Broxism? What have you discovered that it's beneficial?
Yes.
okay. One of the things, well, one of the things that I really aim to is to get the habit of checking the body and checking. The problem is that I think that there are not bad or good postures, but they are bad or good as long as we don't keep all day on that. We don't keep fixed, fixed on the posture, because that is where the body starts to compensate forever, and that is where imbalances and problems arise. But what I should say is that with that, you're by doing these exercises, the posture, like, it's better. You learn how to be active but not tense, like that slight difference. When we talk a lot about in yoga, we talk a lot about the, how to say it in English, the fine effort, like el esfuerzo justo, like the just effort,
The right effort.
the right effort. So that's about, not to be stiff, not to be hyper relaxated, because life, it's not that. Okay, it's like a balance as well. So tension and relaxation, no? So to keep that, I sometimes see students when the class starts and we are lying on the floor and completely relaxed, and I said, okay, lift your pelvis up, and they just like are suffering. And I said, okay, relax your face, relax your shoulders, just lift the pelvis like a bridge, and it's that we are like in continuous state of alert and stressful and with fear, no? The body expresses fear. So, okay, so on that, the better posture, and we learn to be active and not to be like overactivated. So, well, what we said, we raise awareness on what's going on within us, the external things and the internal things, that relationship. And we train our brain to be more present, as we said with Dr. Jung. That's the key, because it's not that we are not thinking, we always think. And especially when we do these body things, and perhaps when you meditate, it's not that we don't think. The exercise is to notice when the mind is going away, and the exercise is bring it back to the present, like a muscle. That's the muscle trains when you do this. So this is the exercise. So we train in the mat, the mind, so that the mind like is more present outside the mat as well, And of course, we reduce stress by activating the parasympathetic system, the one that makes us feel relaxed. And that is, I think, one of the main components of reducing bruxism as well, and jaw tension, reducing stress, or being able to cope with stress, like in the stress, people that talk about stress, I like it because perhaps some of them don't talk about relaxation, but talk about confidence. Confidence that you will be able to handle that. Perhaps that is the key to hack stress, you know. It's my opinion. Perhaps you as doctors may may like have your own opinion, but I see it that way. And I think those
so true. That is so true. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and these are tools that you carry on for life. You mean you train and that goes with you.
Mm-hmm. You said you had some slides prepared. Do you want to share some of them? You want to talk about the statistic that you found about Broxism?
Yes, I would like to teach you some. Okay, this is some Flopium Dixit, my own what I was saying before about the Broxism, to see it as a whole, and I think that this also gives us some hope, you know. To my classes and to my workshops come a lot of people that say, oh my God, I don't know what else to do with Broxism. I tried everything, I'm helpless. And I say, okay, let's not focus on the mouth. Let's focus on your posture, on your pelvis, on your feet. Okay, how can you improve it from? So I believe that these big problems are meant to be attacked or to be solved from different angles. Well, what you believe as well.
So we have this. So just for the point you talked about, there's a so-called narrow focus against the open focus. So when you're really fixated in the very small, you go, oh, here's a problem, right? So all the nervous system going to the tension goes there. But then now think about 99% of the rest of the body working beautifully well. So when you open focus to be aware of the rest of the body, to appreciate, right? When you have a shift, this is where the openness and the correction happens. So that's great navigation right there for you.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that the nervous system, you know, responds like that. And it's totally true. Yeah, it's great. And hopefully neuroscience is like getting inside the body a lot lately. Yes. These last years, like there's been a lot of studies about movement and neuroscience, and that is great. And about yoga as well, which hadn't been studied for a lot of years. Now, these last years, there's been a lot of like papers about yoga, and that is great as well. So watch this, like what I was saying about the difference, or how can our posture affect our occlusion. This is I follow Posture Pro, which is she gave a TED talk that blew my mind away. You say blew my mind, and she talked about how can, with an eye movement with a pencil you could correct the posture, for example. So I was like. And she talks about some things about the jaw. So what I was saying that so the in the TMJ, the chains and the myofascial chains, like it's as if they were like they met in the TMJ. So it goes like that effect. So the way we have our TMJ more like with more range of movement and more relaxed, it will allow the rest of our body to have as well range of movement and not to compensate that much. Okay, so I was saying, I said all of this, yoga about Broxism, what focus is on. Okay, so here, what we said about what we mainly do is we relax all the posterior and the chain that supports us, you know, that goes from the occipitals and goes through the mouth, the tongue, the neck, the scalens. And then it's as important to relax, but to activate what I was saying before, because if my posture is like hunchback, Okay, so I need to activate all the front part as well, so that I have the strength to compensate it, you know, and not to be. So it is as well important to activate and to relax as well. Okay, the thorax releasing and movement is crucial for me as well. And the psoas is like a very important muscle. Yes, I'm fond of psoas. Yes, sorry.
Can you please explain people where the psoas is? Because it's an important muscle that it gets ignored a lot.
Mhm.
Yes. Should I stop sharing, or what can I?
Yes,
Do you see me
yes,
if I'm stay like this?
Yes.
Okay. So the psoas is they call it, the yogis call it the muscle of the soul, and we have a medical, well, you know it, but I will explain it all the same. We have a medical thing for that, because the psoas connects with the diaphragm, and it connects with the myocardio, plexus myocardio, with the plexus of the heart, you know, it's all like connected. So the psoas, like its insertion is on the lumbars, and it goes down and comes over the iliac crest, iliac bone, and comes to the inside the knee, the leg, the trochanter. Okay, so as we are bipeds, bipedals, we are not in force. We have like a little bit. We have it like a slight tension in the psoas, because this allows us to stand still, you know, the psoas in tension. And the psoas allows us to like lift the legs, for example. But the problem is that we have it like overactivated, most of us. And overactivated psoas makes us, again, do this, okay, with the posture, because we are like tightened from here. And well, as well, if we follow osteopathic work and what osteopaths do, they say that psoas even can help or not allow the digestive system to function properly, you know. So that's that important, the psoas. So it is really important to be able to have a better posture, and as well the pelvis has more range of movement when you work on the psoas as well. So I start my classes releasing the tongue and the jaw, and the psoas. We will always work on the psoas, and people, some students don't like it and they complain, but they know it's yeah. Yes. They don't know it's important. Okay, and as I said, activating the anterior part of the chain, no, you know, the like the core and everything that supports us, our posture, and having a core active, it's as if it gave us confidence and strength, you know. When we talk about the core, here we have the solar plexus. In yoga, it's a chakra, and it's a chakra of the personality, the self-affirmation, and you know, that like being able to yeah, it's like our warrior, interior warrior. So it's very important for us to, you know, to have the core strength. Yes, sorry. So we saw the benefits, and I would like us to, if you want to, to try. Okay, this is, if I would say, my recipe for bruxism. I should make this summary. What we were talking about, these key elements. First, the interoception and the proprioception. Proprioception is the ability of, you know, knowing about your posture and your body, how you're standing, where are your feet, like the relationship more between the outside and like the inner part, and the interoception, it's like more inside the organs and the functions that are happening. Interoception, for example, can also be related to what we are thinking, you know, what I'm thinking when I'm in a posture, for example. Postural awareness that we were saying, everyday life, I don't know, I'm waiting for to cross the street. Okay, I can check my pelvis. I'm standing there at the corner of the street, waiting to cross, to go down the street. And I say, okay, how am I standing? Okay, okay, and a mindful attitude as well. So, okay, so do you want to practice?
Yes.
Do you want to? Okay, so first I would like you to start on the feet. Okay, just check how you're standing. If you are putting too much weight on the back or on the fingertips, these are different ways of standing. And also what we are saying, if your arch is sinking, or if not, if perhaps you are. Okay, so to explain this, I follow the reference of Tadasana. Tadasana is the mountain pose in yoga from which all the standing postures begin. So we're going to follow that, like that pattern of Tadasana. Okay, so I want you to like press these 3 points like a tripod in your feet. The thumb, the little finger, and the heel. Okay, so that way you form an arch. Yeah, you form the arch. Okay, so if anyone seeing has a flat foot, you can practice activating your arch by doing this tripod. I say. Okay, so then we're going to check the knees, and we're going to try to not, if you have it like sinking, what I was saying, like genuvalgos, we're going to try to put them neutral, okay? And something that also happens is that lots of people stand like pressing too much pressure on the joint. No, the joint,
the joint.
Ligaments, on the ligaments, okay? So when we put too much weight on the ligaments, what happens is that we take a lot of pressure on the hamstrings and the calves. So if you feel like you are doing like this, okay, putting too much weight in the back, you just make some adjustment and not go to the top, okay? So just a little bit, and that, it will help to stabilize the pelvis. And this is the main important thing I will everyone want to really hone. So how do we neutralize the pelvis? This is the key so that we form the posture up. So one hand on the front, the other hand on the back, and the fingertips should like point to the ceiling, not to the floor. I have it. Okay, so if you have like an anteversion, you're going to take the pubis to the navel, okay? It's like a little adjustment over here. And the tailbone goes a little bit inside, okay? So it's not like you are like this, like a duck, we say like a duck butt. And okay, it's just a little adjustment. So that way you engage the core, you roll the shoulders up and back. So the reference for the shoulders, they are in line with the ears. So we can draw a line from the ears, the shoulders, the hip joint, the knee joint, and the ankle. No, okay. I I forgot the vocabulary of the body. I saw it at school. Okay, so that way, perhaps you are opening the ribs a little bit. Yeah, you just close a little bit the ribs, okay? So I will show it better. So again, if you have the knees on the back, you bring them to the front, you stabilize the pelvis, you close the ribs, you engage the core, roll shoulders up and back, and the chin is parallel to the ground. And that is, you can feel stabilized and feel like, okay, how do you feel?
Perfect. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And especially,
yeah,
like as if they were pulling with a string.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. And then what do we do for the jaw?
Yes. And for the jaw, the main thing is like what I try to teach is to get connected with your own tensions. Okay. So what I try to teach is that people like touch themselves, because we're not used to like get connected, like touch, and no, we feel uncomfortable perhaps a little bit with that. So okay, I said, okay, where is your TMJ? You can localize it by trying to open the mouth and see where the movement happens. It's like in the temporal, in between the temporal and the jaw, okay? So over there's a point. Okay, and perhaps there you will find some tension. And what I say is like to do some little rounded circles around it, okay?
It feels good.
Yeah, and perhaps as you do it, automatically, perhaps you will yawn, okay? Or you will feel you need to sigh, for example, or like oof. So by doing this, it's a very good way to relax the whole body. Okay, so yes, here it's like we're in winter, so the sun goes down a bit earlier, so perhaps I will stay out of light. Okay, so here. So then what about the muscle of the masseter? Masseter? Okay, so perhaps a lot of people don't feel over here the tension, but feel it on the muscle of the masseter. So when the cheek has a pointed place, like a pointed spot on down there, okay, you will find the masseter. Did you find it?
Yeah, and another good way to find the masseter is when you squeeze your teeth together, you'll feel the contraction of the masseter.
Right. Right.
And then a big signal, if you clench a lot, that muscle will be hypertrophic. That means it's just like when you work out, your muscles get bigger. That muscle can get really bigger, or really big, and people can see a big difference between relaxation and contraction. The muscle jumps really high.
Yeah. Well, the masseter is the strongest muscle in the body. Yes.
Really?
Right. Yeah. So what we can do as well. Yeah. So for example, if we have headaches that come from perhaps bruxism, from the tension, we should feel them like over here, not on the temporal, not perhaps here or on the back, but mostly here. So that it's another hint for, like getting to know if, okay, I'm having some bruxism consequences. Okay, another way I like a lot is to, a good way to activate the parasympathetic system is like the ear, like making some massage here.
On the earlobe. Mm-hmm.
On the earlobe, yeah. And perhaps you can pull them outside, opening the mouth and pulling the tongue and say, okay. Okay. I sometimes feel the need to laugh because some faces of my students are very funny. But yes, this is a very good way to like activate the parasympathetic, the relaxation system. Another way I love too is to move the tongue, you know, like the tongue, move it around the face. For example, you can put the tongue like as if you were brushing your teeth with the tongue. Yeah, so you can do like that. And again, a lot of people like just start yawning. Can you see me better? Okay. Okay, so we do that. That is something I always do when we begin the class. Then we can do some tongue sequence. We can put the tongue to the chin, tongue to the nose, and tongue to the back, as if we were trying to take it to the throat. Okay, so we can do like this, and roll it back. And this 2 or 3 times at the beginning of the morning is like you're ready to go with that. Okay, so like that. And another way to complement, to add to some is like do some neck stretch. I try to be very careful with that. Not go too far, just like move, you know, like the range of movement. We can work with the hands and like, for example, press the skin, you know, with the hands, like press the skin and go up with the chin. And there you will feel like the stretch. Mm-hmm. And then you can do like a no sign with your head. Okay, and you can take your hands to the left side and take the ear to the right shoulder. And then you can turn your head a little bit, yeah. And that way you are stretching the sternocleidomastoideo. Okay, coming. Again, it's like a Spanglish class today. So again, to the other side. And then you take it and look up. Mm. Okay, and another thing I encourage to do as well is work on the occipitals so that everyone know. I teach that everyone knows where they are and that they can do some circles like auto massage, self massage to work on that. Let me show you. That can like really help with headaches as well. So when the hair starts, there are like 2 like holes. And then you can put the fingers and do some fine massage. You can put like an oil, for example, with herbs, like essential oil, and that will help like, and then again, I tell them to do like this with the fingers, as if, you know, they will try to like open the area, the zone. And of course, all the yoga sequence, but these are some helpful like things we can do for every day, and we can do it again, when we brush their teeth before going to sleep, when we put some cream on the facial cream as well, okay, I can do some self-massage as well. So I believe that.
Amazing. It feels great to stretch
Yes.
and to just do this exercises.
Yes. And as I say, it's like we need to turn like a light, an extra light on with these issues and these matters. And when we like put it in our routine, we can manage the pain and the tension better. Sometimes we wait to get to 10 or to 100 of pain, or to like, I don't know, have a disc which is like hernia or something, and we can like prevent, and we can stop in 5, okay, not get to 10, not get to. So yes.
If you have any clients, people, students who you taught, you help them, some of the cases that they are suffering certain challenges, what kind of eye-opening result do you have encountered from the clients, from applying your practice in the yoga? To tell us.
Like successful
yes.
Successful practices or successful cases.
Yes.
Yes, I work. Some odontologists bring their clients to my classes. They recommend me, and I work with people specifically with bruxism. And I had a case of a lady. She had like broken the plaque. She had broken her plaque, her previous plaque, the plaque you use when the mouth plaque. Mouth plaque. How do you say, sorry?
Mouth guard.
Mouth guard. Okay, mouth guard. I didn't know that. So she had broken it, and when we started yoga together, she had a new one, and the dentist said, "Okay, I give you a new one, but you go with Flora." And she came to me, and we did yoga twice a week for the quarantine. It was like 7 months last year, and her guard was, I mean, we could see that she wasn't clenching much. It had better, it had like become better, and she had a lot of headaches as well. So she stopped having headaches. And apart from our classes, we worked on her posture. We worked on these exercises for her to do every day. She started meditating like 2 more days a week. So it was like 4 days of practice, and she became much better. And she went to the osteopath like a year after that. She hadn't been for a year and a half, and she went, and the osteopath said, "Oh my God, what about your TMJ?" Like he got surprised, because he said, "Okay, it's much more better." Wow. And I'm now working with another student that she had a car accident, and the neck, like, when you have a car accident, like perhaps sometimes the neck goes.
Right, whiplash.
A whiplash.
A whiplash, yeah. And since that, 3 years ago, she started with huge amount of bruxism as well. And well, I have her studios, her analysis and all of that. And we are working, it's been 2 months, we are working together, and she stopped having headaches. She stopped, she feels much better, and like overall, and we've been doing once a week. Wow. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah. That's great stories. And And without any medication, without any
Mhm.
surgeries, and people can prevent. What you said is correct, and that's what we encourage people, just to prevent problems on time and not wait until there is a chronic or a more severe condition.
Yes, and it's another journey, you know. I always say that as well. Okay, beware that it's a journey that implicates yourself and your commitment. And I like to say that because, as I said before, and we were saying with Dr. Jung, that it gives you tools, okay? It's not a magic solution. You need to work on that. But that's how we get better and better, like humans as well, no?
Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Yes.
See you.
Precious.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Gracias. Bye-bye.